Oh, hello. People keep telling me I've got a mobile face, and they're right. Take it with me everywhere I go. Took it to London a couple of years ago to do a screen test for a British Telecom advert. I got to, like, walk out of these rhododendron bushes onto a moonlit lawn and kind of go...
E.T. phone home. Phone home. It's cheaper after 6 o'clock.
Well, that went without a hitch. But sometimes, you know, adverts do go wrong. I saw one that went wrong. A fella walks on with a can in his hand and he goes... My name's Lytham. My name's Lytham. And this here's a bannock Arbican. And just over Christmas, Barbarian thought, to hell with it, we'll put alcohol in it. It's bloody great, man. Some adverts, it's the voice that people remember the most.
Charlesburg. Probably the best lager in the world. Any minute now, it's all gonna start coming back on.
My favourite advert of all time was a voiceover. Yeah. And after many years of listening to this voice, you just can't help building up a mental picture of this guy.
Ah. This Sunday, Mr. Crippling is taking us all for a ride. Can you see these jam tarts on your screen? Well, they've been magnified 500 times. Yes, Mr. Crippling makes exceedingly small cakes. A miserable old bastard.
It's all clever stuff, this advertising. It's beyond me. Because I was cheated out of an education, you know. I went to a very, very strict Roman Catholic school where religious instruction took precedence over every other subject, right? So consequently, when you left the damn place, you were thicker than what you were when you went in. It was an all-boys school. And I think the logic behind it being an all-boys was to get the lads accustomed to a jail environment before they left. And the teachers, well, one teacher used to say things like, "Right, where was you before now? You should have been here yonks ago with them books I given you from last lesson." This was the English teacher there. And the headmaster, well, I'll never forget him. He saw me one day playing marbles through his office window, so he rushed out and took them all off me. Damn good player he was, I think. Well, that was a Catholic education. Catholicism, just one of hundreds of different religions in the world that you can choose from. But they reckon, if you choose the right one, it can be a very enlightening experience. I was a Hare Krishna once, for 3 streets. Hare, 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 Krishna, Krishna, Hare, yeah, well, you've got to be dedicated going around doing that stuff. But for sheer dedication, you can't beat the nun. Well, I say the nun, there's usually more than one. You'll often see a flock of nuns wandering into the Amazon, loaded down with Bibles and crucifixes, determined to convert some happy, well-balanced, clean-living, self-sufficient, dignified tribe of pagans into a bunch of unhappy, confused, sickly, westernised Christians. But seriously, you can always tell whether a gang of nuns have been through a jungle by a particular noise that sort of echoes through the trees. Ave Maria! But for sheer persistence, the humble Jehovah's Witness must take the biscuit. I mean, it goes trudging round from door to door in all kinds of weather. Oh. Yeah? Hello? Yes? Do you believe in God? Yes? I found one! Oh, well, in that case, can me and my friend come into your house and discuss the book of Deuteronomy for about 6.5 hours? Yes, come in and join us. We're just celebrating a black mass. Some other time, perhaps. Goodbye. And he's off down the road. But does he give up? No. Still doing his sales pitch. All along the watchtower, read all about it. AIDS epidemic spreads by blood transfusions. We told you so. Talking about religion, what about this Pope? I think he's the best Pope we've ever had, you know. I do. He's a right little belter. Very cuddly. He's one of those popes that you can fancy going up to and wobbling his cheek, so he goes, God bless you, my child. And he knows about 60 different languages. I thought, wow, he must be really intelligent. And I bet he's got a good sense of humour. You know, I'd love to just hear him chatting. You know, just to the cardinals at the bar. When I visited Britain, I tried the British tradition, like the humble fish and chip shop. I walked into a chippy. The happy haddock. And when it came to my turn, I ordered, how they say, steak and kidney pie, chips and peas, tea, bread and butter, twice the fish on its own, a bottle of Vimto and the wagon wheel. But even though he had a very, very successful tour of Britain, I can't help but think that he must have been really anxious to get back to Rome, because rumour had it at that particular time that he'd commissioned someone to redecorate the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. And the Catholic Church is so bursting with wealth that they got the best artist in the world.
High. About 250 feet high, to be exact. And there I was. Get rid of this Michelangelo rubbish. Get rid of this little cherub. Use a bit of black. Spy Force Billabong has a better cooler body. He's never made a good film from his in a tucker bag, toss it in the billy can. Burn it to a dingo. Step a Sheila for a jump, buck and boomerang your fighter. When who should walk in? The great man himself, John Paul. And he's such a beautiful little pointer. He looks up to me and he shouts,
Mr. Harris, how is it coming along?
Hi, JP. Can you tell what it is yet?
Forgive me if I seem too critical, but the Last Supper should not include a kangaroo.
Good evening. Welcome once again to Question Time, where our panel attempt to answer questions during my interruptions. On my extreme right, we have Sir Keith Joseph. But I'm not frightened because I've got my clove of garlic in my crucifix. Sir Keith Joseph, a man who always seems to me at least to adopt the expression of a person whose finger has just gone through the toilet paper. See what I mean? And on my left, we have Roy Hattersley, the dynamic driving force behind the Labour Party. And I don't mean to be sarcastic, I just am. And on my extreme, distant, out into the wilderness left, we have the President of the NUM, Arthur Scargill, a man once described as... Oh, yes, could we have the first question, please, from one of our invited audience, yes? Gentleman dressed in rags. Undernourished-looking chap. Pale and drawn, yes. Your question, please.
Please, Robin. As a teacher, I'd like to ask the panel, how in the name of Bob Geldof can this enormous pay rise recently granted to top civil servants be justified when we humble teachers have been denied a pay increase minute by comparison?
Sir Keith Joseph, please. Come on, Joseph. Sit up straight. Answer the question, please.
Well, I'm not an unreasonable man. But you know, in my opinion, most teachers should either be shot, skinned, boiled in oil, or at least have the common human decency to accept a huge pay cut.
Answer the question, please.
Well, you must understand that the pay awards to top civil servants were not granted by the government, but by the Top Salaries Review Board, over which the government has no control.
Yes, well, tell us, Sir Keith, who sits on the Top Salaries Review Board?
Top civil servant.
Well, does that answer your question, sir? Well, we must move on, so another question, yes? Gentleman, yes, grey hair, glasses, purple cassock. Wouldn't say boo to a goose. Probably wouldn't say no to a goose either. No question, please.
Sir Robin, I'd like to ask Arthur Scargill how he now sees the moral and theological aspects of this last coal strike.
Last coal strike? What do you mean, last coal strike? There's more where that come from. I'll say this. All you people who say you can see through me, just let me make myself perfectly clear. This dispute has been about jobs. Jobs and communities. Nothing more, nothing less. So in a moral sense, I think, has been totally justified. In a religious sense, I can only say this. Helmets off, lads. Our Father, who art instilled in the minds of every true trade unionist, hallowed Marx be thy name, thy commune come, thy will be done at West, as it is inevitable. Give us fair pay, our daily bread, and forgive us our best pickets, as we won't forgive them that press bias against us. And lead us not into temptation, of letting scabs off lightly. But deliver us from Thatcherism, for thine is the commune and the power, not the Tories, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you, Arthur Scargill. Another question. Yes? Yes, you, sir. The gentleman who looks like he's just had a head-on collision with a rhinoceros. No question, please.
Sir Robin, I'd like to ask, Roy Hattersley, is the Labour Party regain power, what they going to do about the burning of fossil fuels, which turns into sulphur oxide, goes up the power station chimneys into the upper atmosphere, is blown on the winds over the North Sea, turns into acid rain, and falls on the forests of Scandinavia, killing millions and millions of acres of pine and fir trees. Now, we've all heard the slogan, coal and not dole, which is Sir Comment, but try telling that to a dying Scandinavian pine tree.
Roy Hattersley, please. Come on, Roy.
Both of them. As far as I can see, which isn't very far, the saving of fossil fuels is going to last well into the next century. And no matter which party is in power, whether it be the Labour Party, Conservative Party, or it be the SVP Line Party. One have got to save out fossil fuels gradually. One have got to invest in alternative sources of energy. Solar power, wave power, and grid power. And for example, power for Robin, and for the power for Robin, wave on for Robin,
Thank you, Roy Hattersley. Well, that just about concludes tonight's speech impediment contest. Good night, and speak well.